With the Chicago Bulls having injuries to a lot of guards, when we're hoping that Lonzo Ball could make his return back sometime soon, well, unfortunately, after setback, that looks highly unlikely. We want to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. So, after playing 5-on-5 in practice today, which Lonzo Ball did do, and that is promising, it seems like Lonzo Ball is going to be out at least another week. He's not pain-free yet, but he does expect to be back for the Chicago Bulls playing in the play-in tournament for those games there for Chicago Bulls. So, and the good thing about it is that Lonzo really does seem more optimistic about that. He played 5-on-5 practice today, which is really good, but unfortunately, he's still not 100% pain-free, and he won't be. Lonzo also said that he will not be pain-free until the offseason. So that means that either way that Lonzo is going to be playing with some type of pain anytime that he plays. Now, shouts out to Lonzo. Hats off to Lonzo for being able and willing to play through the pain. But this is still an unfortunate setback for Lonzo, who, you know, he's missed a lot of time in his Bulls tenure. He got a new contract with the Chicago Bulls. He's only played 4 games since signing that new contract. And it's really unfortunate when it comes down to it. Lonzo Ball has missed a lot of basketball. And so at this point now, when he does make his return, it'll be well over a month of him missing significant basketball. And that's just, again, it's unfortunate for Lonzo, who's done and dealt with so many injuries over the course of his Bulls career here. We already know, we've talked about the fact that, hell, he almost had a season-ending injury earlier this year with a wrist sprain that almost turned into a grade 3 sprain that was going to need some surgery. So to hear that Lonzo is not going to be pain-free at any point this season, it's really unfortunate for a guy that's just, he's battled back. As I've said multiple times at this point, he's making history every time he gets back on the basketball court, which is really good for Zoe. And we'll see what the future does hold for Zoe for his career. But, you know, I remember when Zoe initially went down or came back from injury. And, you know, a lot of people said, well, is his injury concern still going to be a thing? Because, hey, look at it this way. He has a brand new knee. And like I said then, it's not just the knee, right? Lonzo has had injury concerns every single year of his career, right? And he's had and he's dealt with them, right? But we cannot overlook the fact that he has had a major injury concern just about every single season he's played in the NBA. And again, non-judgmental, but just to be real, Lonzo's typically a slow returner back from injury on top of all of that. So all those things play a part in Lonzo Ball and why the concern's there for him. And it's really unfortunate that yet again, Lonzo was going to miss more time. But hey, you know, it sucks. It is what it is. It comes with the game. You know, and it comes with having Lonzo Ball on your team. Luckily, when Lonzo is out on the court, he still very much so looks like Lonzo Ball. But I mean, we cannot overlook the fact that, especially when we're at a place of talking about what the future is going to hold for like Trey Jones and things like that, like the Bulls are going to have to factor in this type of injury stuff with Lonzo in any type of future thoughts or anything when it comes down to him. They cannot afford to not factor that in. And so maybe that does keep a player like Trey Jones or something on the roster long-term for the Chicago Bulls. But, you know, we'll see what happens there. Like I said, it's unfortunate. But hey, you know, that's just what it comes down to, man. You know, he's going to be dealing with that wrist injury now, even throughout the play-in. It's still affecting his follow-through, he said, on his shots as well. So do not expect Lonzo Ball to shoot the ball overly effective when he does come back in that play-in tournament. Lonzo Ball could very well just not be shooting the ball. And now, luckily, Lonzo's one of those players that does bring so much more other than shooting, even when he's on the court. So, you know, he's still going to have his ways that he can impact the game of basketball for sure for the Bulls. But you cannot overlook the fact that, hey, it's going to be an injury concern with him for the rest of the time here, man. You know, it just is what it is. Is this a knee? It's his wrist. It's the wrist injury, brother. It's the wrist injury. All is well, family. Hit the like button on the way in. Appreciate that. Look, you know, everybody, do y'all know that Alonzo's not actually his first name is just Lonzo. Alonzo's not his first name. But hey, it is what it is. I pretty much expect to hear the news every time he gets hurt. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair, right? The extension is looking type crazy right now, but it's cheap, so not bad. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's saving it, is that it is a cheap extension. If they had extended him at like even 15 million, right? I think the number they got him at 10 million is right at the precipice of being like, okay, 15 million, that starts getting the mid-level exception money, right? So it sucks. And I would rather have Lonzo in the court than not, but the Bulls you cannot bet on Lonzo Ball to stay healthy. And that's just the unfortunate part of it. And that's for any team, not even just the Chicago Bulls. There is no team that is smart that can bet on Lonzo Ball being healthy. And that may be what also limits his trade market. And that, where people will say that the Bulls were crazy for turning down a first round pick for Lonzo, maybe, right? Maybe. Where are those people at who want to sign Lonzo long term? Man, I want to see Zoe play a playoff game, but he always has pain and issues. Yeah, I mean, luckily he did say he'll be back for the play-in. So, I mean, as of right now, let's hope that knock on wood, that no other setbacks happen, but hopefully he is able to get back. AK is like 218. No, that's not true. That's not and we actually were talking about this. Let's be clear here. Caruso, smart deal. Very smart deal. Kobe, Io's extensions, very smart deal. Jalen Smith, a smart deal. Andre Drummond, very smart deal, right? The Zach LaVine trade looking like a very smart deal. The Alex Caruso trade, smart deal. So he's really not. Like, don't make no mistake about it. AK has made some bad deals, absolutely, and some deals that's definitely limited what this team could be. But AK has made a lot more smart deals than bad deals, and people just don't want to admit that, right? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. AK's made some very, very smart deals and got some very good value out of some contracts as well. Who gonna stop Lonzo? Apparently his body. That's apparently the thing that's gonna stop him. His body and doctors. That's what's stopping Lonzo right now. Any Cubs fans in here without looking it up? What's Jason Hayward's middle name? Who Cubs fans? First of all, we don't. I'm about to put a Sox. By the way, I'm about to put a Sox logo up here between the Bulls and the Bears head. So there you go on that one. Since I'm doing a lot more Chicago White Sox Central this season, you about to get a White Sox head up there too. It's so weird. Didn't notice until last week though. What? Oh, that his name isn't actually Alonzo. Yeah. Who gonna stop Zoe himself? Exactly, his body. In all honesty, as much as I love Lonzo, I think we should take advantage of his good contract and recoup some assets for him. Well, that's the thing, though. Like, who's gonna pay him pay solid assets for him right now? Like, who's gonna do that? Like, realistically, and this is why, like, striking at the right time is almost as important as the deal you got. Because even if you didn't value the offers that you got for Lonzo, they're probably better than having him injured and on the sideline most of the time, right? I'm just saying, right? And rest of the time here, you mean the whole contract, expect him to be injury prone. Yeah, well, I mean, the rest of it, that's what do you mean? That's the same thing as the rest of the time here. The reason why I say that is because the Bulls have an out. They can get out his contract after the first year. So apparently his body, hilarious. I mean, hey, I'm just saying it. Damn, this sucks. Why fucking extend a player who's really solid when he's available on the court? But shit, he's way too injury prone to bet on him long term. I mean, and honestly, I don't think the Bulls thought that Trey Jones would play the way that if Trey Jones was here before the Lonzo contract extension, let's say even he had 5 to 8 games under his belt, I don't think Zoe would have got that extension. It would have been asinine to give Zoe that extension if you knew that Trey Jones was going to be playing this way. Why can't Vooch get that's fucked? Now that's fucked up, bro. You ain't don't wish injury on another person. That's a little fucked up, brother. I'm not even gonna front of you. That's a little messed up there, bro. I'm did LeVar say that? That's funny. That's hilarious if he said that. Do you think Lonzo's days as a starter are over? He's always pushing for more minutes since he's been a starter his whole life, but it's not that he's not good enough to be one. It's more his body. Yeah, I don't think that Lonzo should be a starter personally. I think that the Bulls moving forward, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, I would move Modest Bucelis to the 3. If you can find another 4 in this draft, depending on what that happens. But yeah, at this point, I think Lonzo's now the difficulty with that is, are you going to have Trey, Io, and Lonzo coming off the bench? Again, this is why I keep saying for people that say we should keep Trey Jones, regardless, it's going to be very difficult to get those minutes, man. So since Lonzo Ball is out, give THT more minutes. And why? THT sucks. Keep playing the rotation that you're playing. THT is trash, and he's definitely not getting another extension with the Bulls. I'd rather have this than his injuries last time, where we wonder if he would play for the Bulls again. Injuries with him are expected at this point, but depends on the type of injuries. That's like, yeah, he's gonna suffer some injuries. Lonzo, like, I don't think that you can expect Lonzo Ball to play more than maybe 50, maybe if you're lucky, 60 games a season. Like, keep in mind, the Bulls, like, Lonzo Ball has been signed to 4 years. We've gotten 70 games out of 4 years for him. Just saying. I'm just saying. So, it is what it is, man. That's just where Lonzo is at this point in time. Hey, I'd rather give. Oh, yeah. So, but I just wanted to give that update to y'all, man. Update on Lonzo, because I know, like I said on today's daily episode, CBS Sports reported that he was prepared to make his return. And even then, I was like, CBS Sports is the only one that's reporting this. No Chicago outlets have reported it. That's why I didn't do a breaking news video on it, because I'm like, nobody in Chicago is reporting this. How would CBS Sports have the inside before any outlet in Chicago? Like, I can understand if you had it maybe before some of the outlets in Chicago, but they had it before nobody in Chicago was reporting it. So it seemed mighty fishy there to me. Mighty fishy there to me at that point in time. Lonzo not having a knee setback is a win for. I mean, I get what you're saying as far as like the long-term prognosis of him, but I can't take that as a win when you still only play 35 games. If he didn't have any setbacks and only missed the 20, 25 games that he was scheduled to miss with rest, I would probably say that's a win. But when you only play 35 games, I can't say that that's a win just because it wasn't the knee, personally, right? I'm not saying that you can't say that, but I personally can't say that was a win because of those things. If it was left wrist, maybe he could have came back, but shooting wrist, different story. Yeah. Yep. But all right, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.